So I know what it feels like. Jesus. So I know what it feels like to get that sick feeling in your stomach when the alarm goes off each morning. Knowing you have to step back into that toxic environment that's literally eating the soul right out of you. I did it for over a decade. Words like threat, enemy, destroy, kill, eliminate. You know, it sucked waking up every day, 3:30, 4 in the morning, going to a building that had no windows. Concertina wire around the fence. I don't even know what I want to say. I didn't hate the work. I didn't hate the people I worked with. They were good people. But I hated what it was about. I just wasn't that person anymore. You know, if you've got the courage to dream again, what does that ideal day look like? Ask yourself, what would I do if money weren't an object, if I weren't geographically tied to a given location? What if I couldn't continue to give my life to something that can you let yourself go there long enough to realize that that's where life is? I couldn't continue to. Life's not in the situation you're stuck in. That stuck feeling is a signal to get the hell out. I just couldn't continue to give my life to something that, you know, you're the only person who has control over your future. You always have. But the story you've been telling yourself for all these years is what's holding you back. The story that you're not good enough. The story that makes one excuse after another about why you can't take a step in the direction you want to be. I just couldn't continue to give my life to something that I just felt so opposed to. A set of circumstances that are always conspiring to keep you from the life you want to live. That's the story you've been believing for so very long, and where's it gotten you? Are you any closer to the ideal life that you're dreaming of? But I was comfortable. I was addicted to the paycheck. I was addicted to the paycheck. What would be the worst that could happen if you took a step in that direction? The security. The idea of retiring. You know, no thing, no event outside of you is going to come along and hand you that freedom that you seek. But as time went by, I just knew I had to be willing to let go of all that and step into a situation that was more uncertain. That fear voice in your head that keeps you stuck in the place you're stuck in isn't you. The real you is the creative impulse of the universe. And it's that impulse from the real you that's calling you into a different direction in life. And somehow I just knew in my soul that the universe had my back, that I'd be okay. The one that lies outside your comfort zone. But you can never get there until you step into that fear. I didn't know what that new life was going to look like. I had no idea. What am I going to do to make a living? Until you quiet the voice in your head that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not deserving enough. I can't do it. Honestly, at that point, I just didn't care. It was just about removing myself from the situation. There's nothing outside of you, no event that's going to come along, happen, to hand you the life of freedom that's going to hand you the life of freedom you want. I tried a couple of things. I tried a couple of things over that first year or two. I just didn't find much passion or success in them. And then I met some kids who talked about building an online business. And I got to know them and see what they were saying was really true. I could do this. And the more involved I got, the more I explored it, the more it just felt right. You're the creative impulse of the universe. You're not the voice in your head that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not deserving enough. That's the voice of fear, the ego, whose job it is to keep you safe. It doesn't care about your happiness. I just kept being drawn further and further into this online world where I was making connections with people all over the world. It doesn't care about your fulfillment. On a deep and spiritual level, it felt right. But the creative impulse of the universe, that voice that keeps leading you in a new direction, that's the voice to follow. That's the voice that leads you to the freedom that you so desperately want to experience in your life. You know, I'm just an average guy. I have no special skills, really. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can, right? That fear voice keeps holding you back. Until you're willing to step into that fear, nothing's going to change. You hold the key, but it won't be easy. You're going to have to be a new you. I was intimidated at first, of course I was. I'd never done anything like this before. But it wasn't long before I realized that was nothing to be concerned about. So what would it take for you to step into that fear? Would it be money? Freedom? I got this. The people I've met along the journey have definitely been the most amazing part of the journey. What would it take for you to step into that fear? To accept the uncertainty? To start a journey that has no end? So I come here and I sit with this old tree. 6 trunks. It's a pretty old tree, and it teaches me lessons. You know, I have a feeling this old tree was once cut down or burned down. What would it take for you to step into that fear, the uncertainty, to start a journey that has no end? That's why it has 6 trunks. It didn't let the circumstance stop it. It just did what a tree does and continued to thrive. And that new growth eventually became these 6 trunks growing out of an old stump. It teaches me how to just receive what the universe is offering me. It puts its desire out there, and the universe just continues to deliver. It doesn't take, it simply receives. It's a very different energy in those 2 words, take and receive. A lot of people out there are just taking. There's no giving. The next thing I knew, a decade was gone and I was still stuck. They don't know how to receive. I was one of those people. I didn't know how to receive. I needed a wake-up call. I needed a wake-up call. was taking, I wasn't giving. One day I just found the courage to take that first step. I left my job, had no real idea where I'd eventually land, but I knew I had to make the break. Well, here I am. So that's why I come up here from time to time, and I thank this old tree for teaching me that lesson. I'm happy I did. I try to tap into its energy and hear what else it has to say. So, since I started my online business, you know, I mean, life is a dream these days. I'm living my ideal day every single day, and it's only getting better. You might be like so many out there, trapped, living a life you'd rather not be living. You know, to be able to wake up and create my average, to be able to wake up every day and live my ideal day is just something that's, well, it's just priceless. I can't even begin to describe the kind of freedom I feel with my life these days. And what I do in my online business doesn't even feel like work. You've been telling yourself a story for a really long time. And it's that story that's keeping you where you are, keeping you stuck. To be able to offer something like this to people out there who are searching and in need of help in their lives, they have a problem, they're stuck in a situation that's unsatisfactory. To be able to offer something like this to them, well, I just can't think of anything more fulfilling to do with my day-to-day. It's a story filled with excuses, limiting beliefs, even a few lies mixed in. I've met so many amazing people this past year who I would have never had the opportunity to connect with in any other way. So it's just been one blessing after another, to be quite honest. And you keep believing in that story, refusing to believe there's something better, refusing to believe that you can create that something better for yourself. I pinch myself. I know, I was that guy. My partner is Mitch and Jordy. well, I just can't say enough good things about them. Um, these guys have taught me how to live again, how to have fun again. All those years being stuck really took a lot of the fun out of life and a lot of joy out of life for me. And even though I found myself free, I'd kind of forgotten how to just play at life. So to be now a part of the Play It Life Club, well, it's a whole new learning and growing experience for me. To be able to tap into that kind of energy that I haven't felt like really since I was a kid. Hey, I'm Scott. You know, there's a better way.